We are at home getting all of our spaces ready for spring. That includes organizing the kitchen, getting everything cleaned up and organized, eliminating the things that we don't use anymore, and making our spaces more comfortable and more us as we go into the next season. We're also preparing our freeze stalls and making sure our cows are comfortable through the next season and getting our equipment ready for field work. We are prepping seeds for our garden, and we're just getting our spaces calm and relaxing and stress-free for when we do come back in our house. For I know that once we are given the green light to go out and socialize again, we are all going to be out for a good while. When we come home, we're going to be wanting to come into some place that we call our very own. Today we are working on seeds. We just got a whole lot of seeds in, and we wanted to share a little bit with you what we do with our seeds, where we get our seeds, and how we start the germination process. Right? Yep. I've got my assistant Avon here with me today, and she's gonna help me get some of these seeds started. And so we decided to harvest the seeds from that dino melon, and we're going to start some seeds and hopefully be able to have some starter pots to take to the farmer's market this spring of dino melon plants. So we're gonna start some, and we've already started a few of these, and they're currently in our rock wool under some grow lights and already coming out of their seed and doing really well. So I'm gonna show you kind of what we do with our seeds and where we store them until they're ready to start germination. So if we don't seed save, if we don't grab seeds from other produce, I like to shop locally, and then secondly, I love Johnny seeds. And these are kind of plain. It's a white package. But what I love about this seed company is that on the back of each packet is a ton of information about the specific seed. It's got the cycle of life, the uses, culture, germination, light and soil requirements, spacing, harvest, all sorts of things. If there are pests that are bothering your plant, kind of what they react to and that kind of thing, which is super helpful, especially when you've got a new seed and maybe it's not as familiar to you. So what I do when I get my seeds straight away is I put them in my little seed bin here, and I keep all of my seed things in one bin. And from the time they get delivered to our home or harvested from our fruit, we put them straight in the refrigerator. We want their life to just kind of be frozen for a minute. Then what we do with some of our seeds is we'll take them out of the refrigerator and put them into wet paper towels. Now these have already been wetted, and then we'll put the seeds in wet paper towels, sandwich them between two wet paper towels, and then we'll put them in a plastic bag, and we'll lay them right on top of a heat mat that's temperature controlled, and it's 72 degrees warm 12 hours a day. So that's what we do, and in a matter of 2 or 3 days, we already see a little tiny root coming. And once that root starts, then we pop them right into our rock wool cells. The earliest ones we're gonna be starting today are my Lysianthus and the white glitter Euringium. So this is gonna be new in our cut flower beds this year, and I'm really excited to see what these look like. So Lysianthus needs to get sown really early. It takes about 12 to 13 weeks. These are 10 to 16 weeks even. And so we're gonna get them started in our wet paper towels today. We're gonna get those dino melons started today too. Let's start with the dino melon. So we're just going to literally open up a layer of the paper towel. And this is soaked. It's perfect. So I'm gonna open up a layer here. And we're just gonna place our seeds. This is the easiest process ever. I'm just gonna place my dino melon, space them out. Now in our last little sample that we did, I'll show you here, we left these dino melon seeds for 2 or 3 days to get to this point here. And you can see that they're already starting to pop their little leaves right out of their seedlings and their seeds, which is great. And now these seeds have been washed, so the fruit is mostly gone. You can tell this one's got a little residue yet. Washed and then dried and then put in the refrigerator. Something about putting them in the refrigerator is nice because then the warm air, the warm temperature, and the heat mat, they kind of wake back up again. All right, so then we take this and we're gonna cover it up. You grab that corner. You cover it up, put it on our heat mat under our grow lights, and we'll show you what happens next. This is our first year having a cut flower bed, so any advice from our viewers we will take. We just picked well, as you can tell, a large amount of cut flowers this year, and it's gonna be interesting to see how over our heads we are. They're super tiny, and they are called pelleted seeds because they are so tiny. They put a little coating around them so that they don't get lost, and they're easier to hybrid. Snapdragon. I've never heard of it. This is a Potomac apple blossom snapdragon. Then we have a digitalis, a cafe cream digitalis. An iron apricot stock. Yep. Gomphrena. Cresspedia. It's called the sunball. Straw flower, a vintage white straw flower. Hybrid, it's a branching sunflower, and it's called Jade. We have an apricot peach straw flower mix. We have, of course, bells of Ireland, which are really awesome in a bunch. Golden yellow zinnias. They're the Oklahoma golden yellows. So as you can see, we've got a lot of work to do this spring and summer. And so before we get in the garden and even start tilling gardens and moving seeds outside, I make sure that my inside, my kitchen, is all set to go. So we go through all of our cupboards, clean them out, restock, take out things that we don't need, and then make sure that my kitchen is all ready and stocked for crazy busy spring, summer, and fall season because it gets nuts around. Next, we're going to be discussing our mini kitchen makeover and how to get things a little bit more organized before the crazy spring starts. And I really like to wipe down the outside of my cabinets and also the trim panel underneath my cupboards. It's amazing how much you don't see when you're standing at this level as opposed to when you're sitting on the floor taking apart a cabinet. It's really shocking, really, what you'll find. It's wild. I don't know how in the world grape juice gets underneath there or chocolate milk gets underneath there, but for whatever reason it does. So I found this really awesome adhesive and yet removable contact paper. It's by Easy Liner, and you can find it on Amazon. I'll put a link down below so you can find it. I might need to grab another one. We'll just see how this goes. But it is 25 square feet of this Easy Liner removable adhesive. Gray weathered wood is what it's called. I'm starting with 2 rolls of it and see how far that takes us here. All right, let's get cracking. So this is where we keep all of our plates and cups and our toaster and our bread box, that kind of thing. And I just really like to go through it and kind of clear out the things that we don't use anymore. Like that gravy boat. I mean, how often do we make gravy? I guess not enough. Including, I replaced today this mat. You see how effective this is by hanging out of the cupboard like that? That needs to be replaced. I love these, but and they're even from Poland. They're like super special. I don't know. Should we keep them for popcorn? I think. Okay, let's put them down here. I counted 2 salsa things. We ever use salsa things? No, we don't. We do a fair amount of drinking out of mason jars just because it's easy. They're versatile, and anything in my home, you know, by now, has to be versatile. It has to be able to function as something else, or even get to live here, unless I really, really like it. And if they don't finish their drink, we can put one of these nice little lids on top, stick them in the refrigerator, or if we need to take something with us, a drink, park the milk in the car, that kind of thing, they are nice because we can put a lid on them. They also have lids like this where a straw can go in, smaller jars, and even itty bitty little jars for little drinks. And it's also something I can make pudding in, or I can put their soup in, or a lot of different ways to use mason jars. I highly recommend it. We also use mason jars when we're taking milk out to our field crew. We'll put chocolate or white milk in these jars and then put them in our little caddy here, and we take them right out. Makes it easy for us to grab them and go and take them to the field. And also the glass keeps the milk really insulated and nice and cold. We use a lot of Corral dishes. Everybody in our household eats straight out of the Corral dishes, even the baby. We always use Corral or glass, even as we had little ones. Yes, people will ask me, yes, do they break? Yeah, of course sometimes they break, but that's the risk you have with glass. I much rather use glass because I love my dishwasher, and I know I can get glass really hot and steamy, and I don't feel comfortable with using plastic like that quite as much. Although we do have some plastic containers to use it for leftovers and that kind of thing, but I prefer glass. And I love my Corral because it's kind of shatterproof really, and it's really nice.
This surface nice and dry for the new.
finishing up our bedroom makeover. I can't quite decide yet if I want to leave the paint a little bit translucent so I can see some of the wood grain, or paint it more of a solid darker gray. I haven't quite decided. So I've got a bit of a corner painted like this because I can always go darker, but this is just a combination of paint and water. Just sort of an application where I wet the wood slightly and then I paint over it. And it's good to let it dry really good so you can tell exactly what it's going to look like, because the water will make the wood appear a little darker. It's bottle time around here. I hear baby crying. He wants his papa. We're spilling. He's hungry. Covered this a few times. You can tell it's got a few layers on it, and all I do is glue the fabric down because it's just going underneath, so it's not like it's got to be pretty or anything. And I might see if I could pull this up. No, you know what, I think I'm just gonna leave it. It'll be easier just to leave it and cover right over top of this. So this is the bottom, and I just found a body pillow cover that I don't use anymore, and I ended up really liking this fabric. I scoured a lot of fabric stores looking for just the right fabric, and I couldn't find anything. And then I came home and I saw this laying in my room, and I thought, this is perfect, and I don't use it anymore, and it's the perfect length for this bench. Can't get much easier than this. So I'm going to use some thumbtacks that I just had in my drawer to secure this fabric onto here. And I'm going to pound a few of them in here, and then I'm going to cut around the parts that I don't need. All right, all we're gonna do now is just cut off where we don't need the fabric to be. Hutch is super excited because he's gonna get a blanket out of this, I think. Okay, let's see how we did. we're just gonna screw the cover back on and should be good to go. Some of you may have noticed this little black thing jumping around our home in our videos, and we are so pleased to welcome little Hutch to our family. We found out that there was a farm that we have worked with in the past. They had a little lamb, a male, who needed to be bottle fed, and we took him in with open arms, and we are proud to announce this is little baby Hutch. Thank you so much for joining us here at Hearty Soul. We hope you have a great week. Hang tight. We're gonna get through this together. When in doubt, just binge watch Hearty Soul videos. That's all you need to do.